She was 71 years old, and she thought she was just getting older. The blurry edges, the trouble reading menus in dim restaurants, the way headlights at night looked like smeared stars. Her doctor told her it was normal for her age, so she accepted it. She stopped driving at night. She gave up her evening book. She quietly started grieving a life she could no longer see clearly. What no one told her, what almost no senior is ever told, is that what you eat in the hours before bed can either accelerate that vision loss or begin to quietly reverse it. And there is one fruit in particular that researchers and eye specialists are paying very close attention to right now. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what that fruit is, why nighttime is the most important window for your eyes after 60, and what to do starting tonight to give your vision the best possible chance of staying sharp for years to come. Now, before we get to that number one fruit, and it may not be what you are expecting, you need to understand something about what happens to your eyes after 60 that most people are never told in a doctor's office. Dr. Margaret Ellison has spent over 25 years in integrative ophthalmology and nutritional eye medicine, and she has dedicated much of her career to understanding how diet directly affects vision aging in adults over 60. Think of your eyes like a high-resolution camera. The lens, the retina, the macula, these are precision instruments, and like any precision instrument, they need specific raw materials to repair themselves, maintain their clarity, and protect against damage. The problem after 60 is that your body becomes far less efficient at absorbing and delivering those materials, especially overnight when the deep repair processes happen. During sleep, your eyes go through active cellular repair. The photoreceptors in your retina, the tiny cells that allow you to see color, detail, and contrast, need specific nutrients to regenerate. If those nutrients are not present in your bloodstream at the right time, the repair cycle is incomplete. Night after night, that gap accumulates. That is why what you eat in the evening matters so much more than most people realize. We are going to count down the 6 best fruits for nighttime eye health after 60, starting with number 6, and building to the single most powerful fruit you should be eating before bed. And the number 1 on this list has a specific compound in it that targets the exact mechanism behind macular degeneration, the leading cause of vision loss after 60. The 6th fruit on this list is one that almost nobody thinks of as an eye food, and that is kiwi. Kiwi is extraordinarily dense in vitamin C. In fact, a single kiwi contains more vitamin C than an orange. And vitamin C is not just an immune nutrient. It is a critical building block for the collagen that holds the structure of your eye together. The lens of your eye, the part responsible for focusing light, is surrounded and supported by collagen-rich tissue, and that tissue degrades significantly with age if it is not being rebuilt. What happens inside the body is this. Vitamin C acts as a powerful antioxidant inside the aqueous humor, the fluid inside your eye, neutralizing free radicals before they can damage the lens or the blood vessels supplying your retina. Most people miss this because kiwi is so often thought of as just a tropical snack, not a serious health food. And because most eye health conversations focus on carrots and orange vegetables, the green category gets completely overlooked. Who is at highest risk from vitamin C deficiency in the eye? Smokers and former smokers, because smoking dramatically depletes vitamin C, and anyone on a heavily processed diet with limited fresh fruit and vegetables. What to do instead? Have 1 or 2 kiwis in the early evening, a few hours before bed. They are low in sugar compared to many fruits, easy to digest, and their vitamin C peaks in your bloodstream within a few hours of eating. I want to share a quick story about a gentleman, 68 years old, a retired engineer, who had been told he had early-stage cataracts forming in both eyes. He was resigned to surgery eventually. After being advised to significantly increase his dietary vitamin C through whole foods, including kiwi as an evening staple, his 6-month follow-up showed that progression had noticeably slowed. His eye doctor noted it as worth continuing to monitor. And the next fruit is even more directly connected to the nighttime repair window. The 5th fruit is one that almost every senior has eaten, but very few are eating consistently or at the right time. That fruit is papaya. Papaya contains 2 compounds that work together in a way that is almost uniquely suited to supporting eye health after 60. The first is beta-cryptoxanthin, a carotenoid that your body converts into vitamin A, which is essential for the health of your rod cells, the photoreceptors responsible for your ability to see in low light. The second compound is a significant concentration of zeaxanthin, which we will come back to because it is central to the number one fruit on this list. Here is the important physiology. Vitamin A deficiency is one of the most common and most underdiagnosed nutritional problems in seniors. Not a severe deficiency, the kind that causes blindness in developing countries, but a mild chronic shortfall that quietly degrades night vision, slows eye surface repair, and increases sensitivity to glare. Most people miss this because vitamin A deficiency in seniors rarely shows up as a dramatic symptom. Instead, it shows up as gradually worsening night vision, increasing difficulty adjusting from bright to dim environments, and a persistent feeling of dry, scratchy eyes. What to do instead? Add half a cup of fresh or defrosted papaya to your evening. It is soft, easy to digest, and absorbs well when eaten alongside any healthy fat. A few walnuts, a small amount of olive oil in a salad, because carotenoids are fat-soluble and need fat to absorb properly. Now here is where it gets more targeted. The fourth fruit on this list is one that has been the subject of serious research in the ophthalmology world, though most people only know it as a colorful addition to a fruit salad. That fruit is red grapes. Red grapes, particularly the dark, deeply pigmented varieties, contain resveratrol, a polyphenol compound that has been studied extensively for its effects on blood vessel health. And your eye health is, at its core, a blood vessel health issue. Your retina is one of the most metabolically active tissues in your entire body. It has one of the highest concentrations of blood vessels relative to its size of any organ. Those blood vessels, the tiny capillaries that feed your photoreceptors, oxygen and nutrients, become fragile and leaky with age, and that fragility is the underlying mechanism behind diabetic retinopathy, macular degeneration, and glaucoma-related nerve damage. Resveratrol appears to support the integrity of those small blood vessels. It is also a potent anti-inflammatory, and chronic low-grade inflammation in the retinal tissue is now understood to be a major driver of age-related vision loss. Most people miss this because they associate grapes with fruit salad or grape juice, and grape juice, especially the sweetened commercial varieties, does not carry the same benefit profile as whole, fresh, dark-skinned grapes. The skin is where the resveratrol lives. What to do instead? A small handful of dark red or black grapes in the evening, eaten whole with the skin on. Do not peel them, do not juice them. Eat them as they are. If you are making changes to your evening routine based on what you are learning right now, drop the phrase, "I can see clearly now" in the comments below. The third fruit on this list is one that surprises almost everyone who hears it, and it is the fruit I want you to pay close attention to because it ties directly into the number one fruit coming up. The third fruit is tart cherries. Tart cherries, not sweet cherries, not maraschino cherries, but specifically the sour tart variety, contain one of the highest concentrations of naturally occurring melatonin found in any food. And most people think of melatonin purely as a sleep hormone. But here is what is rarely discussed. Melatonin is also one of the most powerful antioxidants your eye produces internally, and it is directly concentrated in your retinal tissue. As you age, your body's melatonin production declines significantly. This matters for sleep, yes, but it also means your retina loses one of its most potent natural defenses against oxidative damage, the kind of damage that drives photoreceptor death in macular degeneration. Here is the physiology. Your photoreceptors generate significant oxidative stress simply by doing their job. Converting light into electrical signals is a metabolically intense process. Melatonin produced naturally during sleep helps neutralize that oxidative burden in the retina. When melatonin levels drop with age, that burden accumulates. Most people miss this because no one has ever explained to them that their declining sleep quality and their declining vision may share a common root: reduced melatonin production. What to do instead? A small glass of tart cherry juice, the unsweetened concentrated variety, about an hour before bed, or a small serving of tart dried cherries. Look for the Montmorency variety specifically, as it has the most research behind it. Now we are down to the top two, and these are the most important fruits you will hear today. The second fruit on this list is one that most people know is good for their eyes, but almost nobody knows why. or how to eat it correctly for maximum benefit. That fruit is orange, not orange juice, fresh orange, eaten whole in the evening. The reason oranges make this list at number 2 is because of their hesperidin content. Hesperidin is a flavonoid, a plant compound, concentrated in the white pith and the membrane between orange segments. Most people throw that part away. That is a significant mistake. Hesperidin has been shown to support the integrity of small blood vessels and to reduce the kind of vascular inflammation that is directly linked to glaucoma and early macular changes. It works through a different pathway than vitamin C. It actually reinforces the walls of the capillaries in your retina from the inside, reducing leakage and improving oxygen delivery to your photoreceptors. After 60, the capillaries feeding your retina naturally become less efficient. They thicken, they narrow slightly, and they become more prone to microleakage. Hesperidin appears to slow this process meaningfully in many people. Most people miss this because when they think of oranges, they think of vitamin C, and they think they can get the same benefit from juice. But the hesperidin is in the pith and the fiber, not primarily in the juice. A glass of orange juice has a fraction of the hesperidin of a whole orange. What to do instead? Eat one whole orange in the evening, a few hours before bed. Eat it slowly with the membrane, not juiced, not peeled of every white strand. That slightly bitter white layer is where much of the therapeutic value lives. Tell us where in the world you are watching from, whether you are in Chicago or Cape Town or Sydney, because this information belongs to seniors everywhere, and your comment helps us reach more people who need it. And now, the number 1 fruit, the one that targets the precise biological mechanism that is most responsible for vision loss after 60. The one that Dr. Ellison and specialists in nutritional ophthalmology consistently point to when asked what single food they would recommend for a senior worried about their eyes. That fruit is bilberry. If you have not heard of bilberry, you are not alone. It looks like a blueberry. It grows wild across parts of Europe and North America, and it has been used in European folk medicine for eye health for centuries. But it is not folk medicine anymore. Bilberry contains the highest known concentration of anthocyanins, a specific class of flavonoid pigment found in any commonly consumed fruit. And anthocyanins are the key. Anthocyanins directly accelerate the regeneration of rhodopsin. They also protect the photoreceptors themselves from oxidative damage and support the blood-retinal barrier, the protective layer that keeps harmful substances out of your retinal tissue. Most people miss this because bilberries are not on grocery store shelves in most of the United States or Canada in fresh form. They are available as frozen berries, as dried berries, and as concentrated supplements, and all 3 forms carry meaningful anthocyanin content. Who is at highest risk and most likely to benefit? Anyone with early-stage macular degeneration, anyone experiencing worsening night vision, anyone with diabetic eye disease, and anyone whose family history includes significant vision loss after 60. What to do instead? Find bilberry in one of 3 ways. First, look for frozen bilberries in health food stores or Eastern European grocery stores. They are often sold there. Second, look for dried bilberries online or in specialty food stores. Third, look for a standardized bilberry extract supplement, typically listed as containing 25% anthocyanins. Have your serving in the early evening, 1 to 2 hours before bed, so that the anthocyanins are circulating in your bloodstream during the deep repair phase of your first sleep cycle. Here is the story from the first countdown point that I want to bring back now, and connect it to this final point. That 71-year-old woman at the beginning of this video who had given up night driving and her evening book. She was eventually seen by a nutritional eye specialist. Among the changes made to her evening routine, bilberry extract was added. Within 3 months, she told her daughter she had finished a full chapter of a novel by lamplight. Within 6 months, she asked her doctor whether she might be able to return to short-distance night driving. Her doctor did not promise anything, but her follow-up retinal imaging showed that the progression that had been documented over the previous 2 years had slowed significantly. Her story is not a guarantee, but it is a real possibility, and it starts with something as simple as what you eat before you go to sleep. So here is your starting protocol for tonight and every evening going forward. Begin your evening fruit window about 2 hours before bed. have a small serving of bilberry, frozen, dried, or in supplement form, as your primary eye health fruit. Pair it with either a few walnuts or a small amount of olive oil to maximize absorption of the fat-soluble compounds. Add a serving of tart cherry juice about an hour before bed to support your melatonin and protect your photoreceptors overnight. Eat your whole orange as a light evening snack with the pith intact, not juiced. And keep hydrated through the evening. Your eyes are 70% water, and they dry, thicken, and struggle to repair in a dehydrated environment. This does not need to be expensive or complicated. A bag of frozen bilberries, a bottle of tart cherry concentrate, a few oranges. That is the foundation. Let us recap all 6 fruits quickly. Number 6. Kiwi, vitamin C for lens structure and aqueous humor protection. Number 5. Papaya, beta-cryptoxanthin and vitamin A for rod cell health and night vision. Number 4. Red grapes, resveratrol for retinal blood vessel integrity. Number 3. Tart cherries, natural melatonin for overnight oxidative protection in the retina. Number 2. Whole orange with the pith, hesperidin for capillary support and anti-inflammatory protection. And number 1. Bilberry, the highest anthocyanin concentration available, directly accelerating rhodopsin regeneration and protecting your photoreceptors at the cellular level. Your eyes have served you for over 60 years. They deserve this level of care and attention. If this video opened your eyes to something you did not know and gave you something you can act on tonight, please share it with someone you love. A spouse, a sibling, a friend who has been talking about their vision getting worse. You may be giving them something far more valuable than you realize. And if you want to keep receiving honest, research-informed health content made specifically for adults over 60, content that treats you as the intelligent, capable person you are, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. We cover what matters most: your vision, your heart, your brain, your energy, your life. You deserve to see every beautiful moment ahead. Start tonight.